please rise for invocation. Oh, we have Chaplain Sam Mercado of Advent Health with us this evening.
Good evening. Let's bow our heads. Almighty God, we gather here today to make decisions for our community. May we use only our best skills and judgment, keeping ourselves impartial and neutral as we consider the merits and pitfalls of each matter that is placed before us. May we act in accordance with what is best for our community and our fellow citizens. And we ask your blessing and guidance on our city leaders as they make these decisions in behalf of our community. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The clerk call the roll, please.
Councilmember Ford.
Present.
Councilmember Tremont.
Here.
Councilmember Stiltner.
Here.
Vice Mayor Bastian.
Here.
Mayor Burnett.
Here. Public items on consent agenda. Would anyone care to speak to anything that's on the consent agenda?
Robert? I see Robert on there, I see.
He's during public comments. There being none, agenda approval. May I have a motion for the agenda for the evening?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The agenda for the evening is approved. Consent agenda.
I'll move to approve consent agenda items 6 through 10.
Second.
We have a motion second to approve consent agenda items 6 through 10. You didn't want to pull number 8, huh?
We can,
No.
we can pull
We
8,
don't wanna-
but...
no, we don't need to undo that one.
Okay.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Ford.
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont.
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltner.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bastian.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0. Citizen participation agenda, Chris Seilkopf.
Is he here?
He's
Chris?
not here.
Okay. Well, then that brings us to citizen participation non-agenda. Jamie, why don't you come on up? And tell us what we're doing here tonight. Come up to the microphone, introduce
got-
yourself
In front there.
right there, and, yep.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jamie Franzini. I am a local mom here and wife and friend, and I lost my son. We lost our son, Anthony, in 2017 to a rare pediatric cancer called DIPG. And earlier this year, we started a chapter that is a nonprofit organization that raises funds for pediatric cancer research. It's called The Cure Starts Now. And it's an international foundation where 100% of donations go towards fighting for research. They provide grants and assistance for families as well. But they are supported through grants, so all of their overhead is paid for. So 100% of donations does go to research, which is pretty phenomenal. There's only 4% allotted for the national funding for pediatric cancer. So these foundations are near and dear to my heart, as they are the ones who are making the biggest strides in finding treatment options and hopefully ultimately the cure for cancer. The Cure Starts Now believes that researching the deadliest of cancers will lead to advancements in all cancers. So that's why they call it the home run cure. And again, I'll just reiterate, thank you for this opportunity. I think that it's amazing when people who haven't been directly affected start to care. And that's what we need for the home run cure of cancer to be a reality. We need people who care. And so we are local here, and we're just a chapter of the International Foundation. And so we'll be doing different events throughout the year. We had a Ritter's Night. Tomorrow night we're having a fundraising event at Tijuana Flats. Tijuana Flats has graciously offered to donate 20% of sales between 5 and 8 p.m. To our chapter here. You have to show the little flyer that I believe is going to be posted on the Port Orange Facebook page, and you can tag me. I'm going to send my information to you guys. There's a code that you can order online. So that's the first local thing that's happening next. So COVID has kind of halted some other
Changes everything.
fundraising efforts, yes, for this year.
Slowed
But
you down, but it hasn't stopped you.
that's right. We're still trucking
Quickly,
along.
for somebody that doesn't want to come out to eat or go out to
Uh-huh.
eat, is there a way for somebody to donate,
Yes.
to your chapter?
Yes.
Without having to participate
Go out
in
to
a
eat,
dine
yes.
out?
Yes, absolutely.
how do we do
so
that?
we have a Facebook page, and we also have a website that's dedicated to our chapter.
Okay.
You can search The Cure Starts Now, Central Florida.
Central Florida.
East Central Florida. Thank you.
East.
East Central Florida.
So it won't say Port Orange specifically?
It won't say
East
Port Orange.
Central
It'll say
Florida.
East Central Florida.
Very
Yes,
good.
we are the only chapter in Florida, but Florida is big, so they just specify the region in case
Okay.
other people
East
want to
Central
start.
Florida.
Yep. And there, like I said, there's a website and a Facebook page, and
Okay.
on the website there's a link for donations. So
Okay.
Done, okay. Good.
thank you very much.
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Jamie, hold on.
The month of September, before the meeting, for everybody watching at home, we read a proclamation that we are going gold in September to bring awareness to the fight against childhood cancer. And this gold ribbon is going to be sitting on the dais for the entire month of September to remind us, no matter what we're doing, we need to remember our kids count. They are our future. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it is so true. And I've had the opportunity to raise 2 boys, they're college age, and I count my blessings every day because this has affected other members of my family. I've seen what it does to friends, and everybody should have the opportunity to give a kid a normal, healthy childhood, and that doesn't always happen. And I appreciate the fact that Port Orange is coming together. And as long as I'm mayor, we're going to do this every September of every year until childhood cancer is licked. And one day it will be. I don't know when, but it's because of efforts like this and people like you, Jamie, that it will be. Thank you. Next one is, I've got Lori Friend.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Lori.
Good to see y'all again. My name's Lori Friend, and for those of you that don't know, my son was killed here in the city of Port Orange, September 25th of last year. And from that day forward, things have been brought to my attention that aren't going so smoothly in certain areas, and I have dedicated myself to try and correct some of those. I have several things to speak about, but tonight I'm only going to speak about one thing. My concern right now, I put on the back burner until now. I have an issue with Friars Wrecker Service that is contracted by your city to handle picking up vehicles and things. When my son was in his accident, he was killed. They took his motorcycle, they impounded it. It was on a police hold for 24 hours only. After the 24 hours, the man who killed my son, his truck was released as well as my son's motorcycle. However, the tow company would not release my son's motorcycle. My son-in-law called over and over. I did not, because that was the last thing on my mind at the time. When we finally did go to pick it up, half the parts of his motorcycle were missing. The expensive parts, if you know what I'm trying to say. My son-in-law asked him, the owner of Friars, where those parts went to, and he said that the Port Orange traffic homicide officer had never sent them over to the impound at Friars. So I contacted Officer Malky, who was in charge of the traffic homicide case, and he said, I did bring those over the very next morning when I released the hold. He said everything is in there, and he has pictures of it all in a closed-in impound where no one can get into it, with the photographs of all my son's parts, everything sitting in boxes next to the bike. Friars Tow Company was extremely rude. It's my opinion that they didn't think anyone would come and get that bike, because to be honest with you, I myself would not have, but my son-in-law, that was something that he wanted to do. So I feel like they are kind of a representative of the city of Port Orange, not directly, but they do, when we talk about someone's vehicle being towed or a car, the city had them come and do it, is what people think. I've been contacted by a lot of people that have had contact with Friars. They have been, ours should have been released the next day. Long story short, it wasn't released till way later, and it was over $1,000 to get it out. That's ridiculous. They're overcharging people. They're taking parts that don't belong to them and calling them missing. And this is just something that needs to be looked at. It needs to be addressed, and the contract needs to be reevaluated, because City of Port Orange should not have anybody representative of them that would steal from somebody who's dead.
I've got this. I'm gonna pass this down to the city manager.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lori.
We've already,
We'll
this
call-
has already been made known of us and we'll investigate.
Okay, thank you, Jake.
Thank you, Jay.
Yep.
I've got 2 more speaking virtually. Are we ready for those?
Yeah, I only have Robert on here.
Okay.
Lisa never checked in.
Let's hear from Robert Reinhagen. Robert, you there?
Yes, hello, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Can you, okay. Mayor, council members, Robert Reinnick, Port Orange. I feel that I need to restate concerns I expressed about the purchase of the brush truck at the previous regular council meeting. I inadvertently referred to the action as a sole source purchase, which it was not, and that may have confused the presentation. When I read the brush truck agenda packet, my first reaction was that this is basically an off-the-shelf item that can be configured to the end user's particular needs. Then, as I read further and saw that there was only one bid, my second reaction was that the item was overspecified and that no supplier wanted to be bothered responding. I could find no justification to the agenda packet as to why it is reasonable for the city to go ahead with this purchase. I spoke to the city's purchasing manager, and he helped me understand the purchasing process. And he emailed me the city's draft purchase manual. On page 26 of the manual, it states that when only one qualified response is received, the purchasing manager must document in writing its explanation for negotiating and/or accepting the sole response in lieu of resoliciting, and provides that the city council approval is required for purchases over $25,000. I believe that this type of explanation is necessary for the council to make a decision to proceed with the purchase, and that this explanation should have been made a part of the agenda packet for the council and the public's review. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. And Lisa Nunez, did she join us? Okay. So, and I don't have her comments to read, so that brings us to the last one. Kelly Elgin.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening.
Mr. Mayor, I'm just here. I was at the Port Orange Police Department yesterday, trying to place 4 summons on your police chief, Thomas Grimaldi, head of internal affairs, Kimberly Kilpatrick, Scott Brazio, head of criminal investigations, and a Lieutenant Thomas Aiken. I've got the 4 summons. I went to Volusia County Sheriff's Department yesterday morning, and they wanted $160 to deliver them, and then they said that they were going to do them by courier. After I left the federal courthouse yesterday in Orlando, Florida, Regina, the court reporter for Judge Wendy Berger, she informed me that I could go to myself. Why not do them? When I got there to the Port Orange Police Department, Miss Elliott of the Records Department told me that they do not take civil summons there. So I was like, I don't understand. There, after videoing it for 17 minutes and 48 seconds, I was only talking to Miss Elliott for 3 minutes. The other time they were out to the right, to the left. Heather Rubens passed by, the head of records. First of all, she said she was leaving for the evening, had her lunch bag and her purse, walked out the door, and then she comes back across. So I went back to the federal courthouse today with a flash drive of the video put it in, and I filed a motion to enforce the summons on your 4 police officers. So can you tell me, or maybe find out why they won't accept these summons? They should be running for them. They should be running for them, and if I've given false comments, like Captain Kimberly Kilpatrick said, tell me why. That's all I want to know. That's one simple question. So they shouldn't be running from these summons. They should be accepting them and within like 2 minutes giving an answer. They've got 60 days to do so. Maybe you can help me get them the summons out to your chief of police. I don't know. Here it is right here. I've got one for everybody. This is signed.
Hand that to the clerk.
I've got a federal case against them. There you go, man. Dr. Ford, I had spoken to her in March. She's the one that told me to come here to city council. There you go, Ms. Ford. Here it is. Everybody get one? There you go, bud. So, city manager, I'll leave you out. There you go, sir.
Thank you.
So it's Elgin versus Grimaldi. More than welcome to look it up in case. It's just, it's a part of civil rights. They've broken mine. And if they'll just get to these summons, we'll go from there. Appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Council comments. Why don't we start with Scott?
Just one quick comment. We've got a vacancy on the Transportation Planning Organization Board for the BPAC subcommittee, which is the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee. And it's a voting position actually for that committee, so we're looking for somebody who wants to volunteer, sit on that committee. They meet the second Tuesday of every month at 2 p.m. Meetings run typically about an hour to 2 hours in length. They don't meet during the month of July or December, so it's basically 10 meetings a year. But we're looking for somebody to fill that position. So I've reached out to a few folks. I've asked Jake and Robin to do that as well, because that's a pretty important position for TPO that we need to try to get that filled. So if you guys think of anybody or if there's any other avenues that you want to promote that, we definitely need to fill that one. And that's all I got for right now.
Drew?
One thing I got tonight, I heard over the weekend, I believe it was Sunday perhaps, former city councilman Bob Pullman, his wife passed away. And I'm just wondering if we could, you know, as a city, maybe reach out, send a sympathy card or something, or just make, I mean, he was a councilman for 12 years, if we can just make that contact and, you know,
Wow.
send our condolences and our sympathies, and, you know, let them know we're thinking about them and our thoughts and prayers are with them. I don't have the obituary or anything to read in, but I just heard it. I think it happened unexpectedly. I believe it was Sunday. So that's all I got for tonight.
Thanks. Chase? Marilyn?
Just want to remind everybody, Art House, they normally have a annual dinner to raise funds, and this year, because of concerns about social distancing and all sorts of things, it's now become a week-long virtual extravaganza from September 28th through October 2nd, and so there'll be a lot of events online. There will be things that citizens and their families can participate in. They're going to be doing the sidewalk chalk artists around local businesses, and there'll be opportunities for kids and families to make face masks. Every day they're doing something different. So if you go out to Art House website, and that's ARTHAUS, you can participate in the fun. It's free. And if you feel the spirit, which I hope many of you do, you'll provide a donation or bid on some of their silent auction items. They're going to have gift cards and a variety of things to support this worthy organization.
All right. The only thing I had this week is I just wanted to add to my previous comments about Port Orange going gold. Lori Parker, I thank you very much. Every year, she makes sure that we remember to do this, and she does an awful lot of work on this year round. So I want to add my thank you to her.
Thank you.
That brings us to the public hearing portion of the meeting. Second reading of ordinance number 2020-22, an ordinance of the City of Port Orange, Volusia County, Florida, relating to comprehensive planning, amending the future land use map of the comprehensive plan, amending the future land use designation of plus or minus 18.7 acres from Volusia County urban low intensity to City of Port Orange public institutional for property generally located to the east side of Bruner Road, north of the city's water treatment at 4057 Bruner Road, providing for conflicting ordinances, severability, and an effective date.
Move to approve ordinance number 2020-22, adopting the 21 large-scale comprehensive plan amendment and authorizing the transmittal to the required review agencies.
Second.
We have a motion and a proper second. The item's open on the floor for discussion. Second reading. Council comments or questions?
Oh, second.
There being none, any comments or questions from anybody who wants to speak to it? Item? There being none, final comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Ford.
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont.
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltner.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bastian.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0. Second reading of ordinance number 2020-23. An ordinance of the City of Port Orange, Volusia County, Florida, rezoning property consisting of a plus or minus 18.7 acres from Volusia County Rural Mobile Home and plus or minus 8.1 acres from City of Port Orange multifamily residential to government public use, authorizing revision of official zoning atlas and providing for an effective date.
Move to approve ordinance number 2020-23.
Second.
We have a motion, proper second. The item's open and on the floor for discussion. Council comments or questions? There being none, would anyone here care to speak to the item? There being none, final comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Ford.
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont.
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltner.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bastian.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0. Public hearing portion of the meeting is closed. Additional items, City Attorney.
Nothing further tonight.
City Manager.
Yes, Mayor, I have a few items to bring to council's attention. I mentioned earlier to some of you, I'd like to bring it up in public again for consideration with the pension boards, that I think it's a time that we all consider our positions on the pension boards and talking to them about bringing pension administration in-house. I think it's important that we consider that for standardization among the three pension boards or three pension systems. It is not anything to do with the financial portion of it. It's not anything to do with the legal portion of it. All it has to do with is ensuring that our members that have retired and that are currently into the pension program and still working for the city are cared for in a manner that I, as the city manager, and you all as the elected officials are wanting them to be cared for. I've found in some that it's been lacking on occasion, and due to the nature of the relationship between the pension administrator and the pension board and the lack of accountability that the city can provide to these pension administrators, when something goes wrong, I have no way of holding somebody accountable. We have to go through the pension board to do so. So I'd like that to be something to be considered in the following year, to be executed sometime in fiscal year 22. So I bring that forward not for a decision, but for something to put in your mind.
We need to agenda the discussion item at some point in the future.
We will. I just bring it to your attention now based on some recent conversations. Additionally, during a update on the pandemic, we had made a decision to cancel all major events through December. I just want to bring to council's attention that that means the tree lighting and the parade would then be canceled. The parades in other cities have already been canceled.
You just want us to be known as the No Fun Council, don't you?
No, sir. So I want you to be known as the safe, considerate, conservative council.
You're right.
So I want to just bring to your attention that what we agreed to with big smiling faces a couple weeks ago included Christmas and the tree lighting ceremony. Susan is looking at innovative ways to get some of that accomplished virtually or otherwise minimally, but not being able to control the amount of people that come into city center or on Dunlawton would be an issue. That is why Family Days ended up not doing
Right.
their thing for the same reason.
I mean, that's
We just
reasonable.
can't control it, so.
What are you gonna do?
I only object to you saying that it was done with smiling faces.
Well, that's true. Some of us have masks on, so I didn't know. But those are two items that I want to make sure that you were aware of moving forward and didn't catch anybody or any citizens by surprise in December.
But you're not saying that we're not gonna decorate? We're still gonna have decorations at City Center?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. What else you got?
That's all
City
I
Council-
have.
City Council Committee reports, River to CTPO, Scott?
Was out of town for this meeting, but just want to make a notation that the long-range transportation plan, which goes all the way out to 2045, that TPO's been working on, is now available online. I've sent that link to Jake and Christine, asking if we can put that on some sites, because they are seeking public feedback. So for those that are interested in long-range traffic planning for this region, which covers 3 counties, there's a lot of great information there, and it's a document worth taking a look at and passing that along, and they want some comment and review back on. So other than that, that's all I got.
General Employees Pension Board?
I've designated the city manager to comment on that meeting, which also was while I was out of town.
And I
Timing's
have,
everything.
The General Employees Pension Board met without Councilman Stiltner. However, happy to report that the annual yield to date is 6.91%, which is 3.67% up from the July 1st date. We're tracking for our annualized smooth return should the market maintain as we did. No other items of interest during the meeting other than regular administration.
Fire Pension Board?
A lot of regular business, but I can tell you, they did a little bit better. Q1, they lost 14% overall, but Q2, they earned 14% back. So they're at a,
They're still down
at a
50%.
zero. They broke even, I should say. There were some of the investment portfolios that were up 4%. All the signs indicate for the past 3 years, the Fire Pension Fund does very well compared to its peers. And we looked at information relating to the cancer presumption for firefighters and how that relates to retirement payoffs, and did those type of things. And we passed a budget, which the Fire Pension Board must do because it is part of the council's budget that they consider. So of course that is contingent on the council and the action that they will take in a couple weeks. And that's pretty much it.
And the Fire Pension Board?
No, please, that was
the
fire.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
and because you called on me first, sorry.
Yeah, so please.
Police Pension Board?
Okay, so we had a meeting
Whatever.
recently. The previous quarter was horrifically bad. However, this past quarter was very good, 14.74% net of fees. And before this quarter, the fiscal year to date, we were at a negative. So it recouped enough where they are at 3.4% year to date, or fiscal year to date, net of fees. Premium tax distribution dollars came in from the state for 2019 to the tune of $498,649 and some change. And back in that previous quarter, the market value was down to right at 36 or just under $36 million. And on August 18th, the market value of that plan sat at 46.1 million. So they've came back from the previous losses, and we're actually ahead of where we started the year at $40.8 million on October 1st of 19. So even with that really horrific downturn, the plan has recovered nicely and is definitely holding its own.
Okay. With that, Thursday evening, 6 p.m. is our final budget workshop. I will see everybody then. I was going to say with smiles, but we'll be wearing masks, so we won't see those either. So
And is there, public will be here for that, so is there public comment on those, or?
absolutely.
Okay.
Public shows up. They want to talk. We'll hear from them.
All right, Thursday at
With that,
6.
everybody, have a good night.